Good morning. It is generally believed that it is the students who derive benefit by working under the guidance of a professor. In reality, the professor benefits equally by his association with the gifted students working under him. This was said by Sir C.V. Raman, and we have also witnessed during the National Science Week celebration at VIT Bhopal University. So with this beautiful thought, I, Dr. Sharad Chandrapathi, welcome on behalf of VIT Bhopal University our today's chief guest of the valedictory function of National Science Week celebration, Professor Anil Bharadwaj, Director, Physical Research Laboratory, ISRO Ahmedabad, who has spared some time from his busy schedule and joined us to enlighten the audience on the auspicious occasion of national importance. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. U. Kamachi Mudali sir, Registrar Shri K.K. Nair, Deans, Directors, Faculty colleagues, representatives from Madhya Pradesh Council of Science and Technology, friends from media houses, VIT Bhopal staff, students, mentors, and my dear participants. At the outset, I thank our esteemed management, Honorable Chancellor Dr. G. Vishwanathan sir, Vice President Sri Shankar Vishwanathan sir, and the constant source of our inspiration and our custodian, respected Assistant Vice President Ms. Kadambari S. Vishwanathan ma'am, for giving us an opportunity to celebrate the Science Week on such a large scale. As the country is celebrating 75th year of independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of its people, culture, and achievements, VIT Bhopal University is celebrating National Science Week under the theme of Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future to commemorate the discovery of Raman effect by the great Indian physicist Sir C.V. Raman on February 1928, with the motive of telling the nation about the contributions of our great scientists who have been instrumental in bringing India this far. I hope this has created an opportunity to display the activities, efforts, and achievements in the field of science for human welfare. During the Science Week celebration, VIT Bhopal has organized an inter-university quiz competition on science and technology, which was organized in online mode on 2nd March, and in which 330 students of undergraduate and postgraduate standards from 22 different states of the country were registered and they have participated. An e-exhibition on science and technology for for sustainable future was organized for the school students, in which 37 teams from all over the country of 6 different states have participated in this particular event. And then we organized the Speak for Change, a national level speech competition on science and superstition, where students from the schools, there were total 76 participants from the 11 different states of the country. They have registered and they have participated. In this celebration week, we had a lecture series where Professor Dipankar Banerjee, Director, Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Sciences, he spoke on variability of our nearest star, the sun, and its impact. Mr. Dhananjay Rawal, a science communicator, he has given the lecture on science and technology in ancient Indian temples. Dr. Manjusha Shelke, she has spoken on ultra capacitors, the high power flexible energy storage devices. Dr. Vilas Shelke, he is the CEO of Recharge and Energy Private Limited. He has given his lecture on energy for mobility and stationary storage. And then Dr. Vasant G. Sache, he is the Center Director of UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research Indore, and he has delivered a talk on discovery of Raman effect. We had Dr. Prakash P. Vadgaonkar, Emeritus Scientist from National Chemical Laboratory, and he has given the talk on chemistry for sustainable development. We had with us Dr. Helen Elizabeth Mason, and from University of Cambridge, and she had given the talk on solar spectroscopy in the ultraviolet and X-rays. We had Dr. Nakul Parashar, Director of Vigyan Prasar. He has spoken on scope of science and communication, popularization and extension. And then in the same series, we had that last talk this morning by Professor Anil Bharadwaj, who is our chief guest for this valedictory function as well. He is the Director of Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, and he has given the talk on Indian planetary missions. I hope it was a great learning experience for all the participants. Now, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. U. Kamachi Mudli sir for his felicitation address. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sharath. Very good morning to all of you. Distinguished scientist, Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, the director of the Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad, who is our chief guest for the valedictory function. And I'm very delighted that he has also delivered a keynote lecture just before this, motivating and mentoring the young students and the participants of this National Science Week celebration that we have been doing since 25th February. I'm grateful to my organizing team, Dr. Sarath Chandra Tripathi, Pradeep Kashyap, and other team members from the School of Advanced Sciences and Languages who have made excellent arrangement over a week, culminating today with lectures by eminent people and many other competitions that he has briefed so far. And this year, the National Science Day has got some multiple, the reasons for which we should be very proud of celebrating. Though every year we celebrate commemorating the discovery of Raman effect, which was made on the same day, February 28 in 1928, and subsequently which fetched Sir C.V. Raman the Nobel Prize in 1930. The Science Day is celebrated on this February 28, but one more important thing is that this year, 2022, has been also designated as the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development by the United Nations General Assembly, which also has constituted 17 goals for the sustainable development and upcoming of the world together. And the government of India also has taken efforts this year to especially to announce that the theme integrated approach in science and technology for a sustainable future, and coinciding that with the 75 year of the Independence Day celebrations, and with you all know that the whole year, the 75th Independence year, we are celebrating with the Azad Ka Amrut Mahotsav. And I am very proud that this year the Science Week, as compared to the last year, has been done in a very well organized and meticulously planned way by our university. And as it is summarized by Dr. Sarath Chandra Tripathi, you can see that the quality of the event as well as the number of programs have significantly increased. This is to motivate and mentor the younger students from the school particularly, and also the students from the colleges to get the glimpse of what is happening in the developments of science and technology, engineering and mathematics for the sustainable development of the future. I'm very happy and I'm very proud that today it is coming to the concluding part of it after a significant hard work and the deliverables that has been met in the last 1 week. I'm also very proud that Dr. Anil Bharadwaj has kindly accepted to chair this valedictory session as chief guest and give his concluding address also. Before we invite Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, it is also my pleasant duty now to say a few words about Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, though he has been introduced in the previous lecture, but now it is being live streamed and there are going to be so many other students participating in the YouTube. So I will read it again, and it is my proud privilege. Professor Anil Bharadwaj is a fellow of all the science academics in the country. He is also a JC Bose fellow. Currently, he is the director of the Physical Research Laboratory at Ahmedabad, one of the premier laboratory under the Indian Space Research Organization, which is well known for the contributions to the ISRO's space mission programs. Dr. Anil Bharadwaj did his PhD at Indian Institute of Technology, that is earlier known as Banaras University, and then subsequently he joined the Space Physics Laboratory at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Trivandrum, and from 1993 to 2017 he was there, particularly during 2014 to 17 he was the director of the SPL also. He has made significant contributions in the area of planetary sciences at SPL, and also contributed to the planning of planetary missions of India in the Indian Space Research Organization. He has been principal investigator for many missions that has been undertaken, including Chandrayaan and the Mars Mangalyaan, and many programs planned by the Indian Space Research Organization. He has published more than 160 peer-reviewed research papers in international journals. He has several books to his credit, and also supervised many research fellows and students. In addition to that, Professor Anil Bharadwaj is decorated with the Swanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize, the most prestigious award of the nation in science field, particularly for his contribution in planetary sciences in 2007. He has also received the coveted Infosys Prize for Physical Sciences in the year 2016. And he is a distinguished alumnus of IIT BHU. I'm very proud to know that. And he has received many other INSA Vainu Pappu Memorial International Award, Decennial Award of Indian Geophysical Union, Professor MGK Menon Award of NASI, and so on. The most important is that considering his outstanding contributions, the Indian Space Research Organization has honored him with the highest award of Outstanding Achievement Award in the year 2017. He is also an elected academician of International Academy of Astronautics and a member of the International Astronomical Union. Sir, I'm very proud to welcome you for this concluding session, and I think the participants will be delighted to hear from you the concluding remarks of this National Science Week, which has been celebrated since February 25 by our VIT Bhopal University. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kamachi Mudali, Vice Chancellor of VIT. Namaskar, Suprabhat, and very good morning to all the viewers and listeners who have joined us live on Zoom as well as listening on YouTube. I must first congratulate your young team who has organized this National Science Week. Generally, we do Science Day celebration, which happens on 28th. But this young team has run it for a week. And that is probably the first of its kind where you have been having the National Science Week. And to all the staff, faculty, and students who have actively participated in this program. This event is being organized by VIT Bhopal in association with the other Science and Technology Department of MP, as well as the National Council of Science and Technology and Communication. So I'm delighted to be with you all on this valedictory function of the National Science Week celebration of VIT Bhopal. And if you look at why do we do Science Day, or for that matter, why do we have these days, Science Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine Day? You know, there are so many days which comes one after the other throughout the year, or even Hindi Day, for example, right? So they are just a repeated reminder to us to dedicate ourselves towards science, to appreciate what science is giving to us, and to motivate the youngsters, and to tell them what is the contribution of science in the society. No country in the world can progress if they don't progress in science. So science is the key. And like, you know, in the TV or in radio, you must be hearing advertisements repeatedly coming. You know, there'll be a program going on, and then, or even the news, there'll be break, and then advertisement comes. And you will see this advertisement repeatedly after every half an hour or 45 minutes. Why? Because they are selling their products. So they want you to remember that or memorize that. Humans have very small or very short memories, I should say. Okay. And therefore, we need to be reminded always. And that is why we have this Science Day celebrations or Science Week celebrations. Okay. So it's a reminder, but reminder of what? Reminder of how we have been progressing, what has been done, and what we should do in future. So the discussions and the focus should be of what has been the contribution of science and technology in our own life. For example, if you talk about Dr. Sarabhai, who started the PRL and then the space program for India, he was a visionary. He was talking about putting the satellite in space in 1960s itself, developing the own rocketry program within the country, because he was very well convinced that India should have its own rocketry program, launching the rockets from its own soil and its own satellite program. And currently now you see today, any of your day-to-day activity is linked with satellite program. We talk about mobile, the most important aspect of any human being now, right? It is linked to communication. Communication means it is satellite. So if you look at what and where we should be aiming at, these are the days in which you should look back and take a pause and think of what should be done in future. When we talk about the way the science is done, one big example is Dr. Sarabhai, when he was talking about starting the rocketry program in the country, and he sent Dr. Kalam to go to the south of India in Trivandrum to a village called Thumba, which is basically a fishery village. They are only fishermen, machware hain sirf. And he says we should have something to start the program. There is nothing other than one church, which I showed you in one of my slides. And that church is the only thing in the coastal area where the program can start. So what Dr. Sarabhai did, he talked to the priest and say, I want to come and talk to all of you when you have a prayer. And generally, you know, the Christians have prayer on Sunday morning. So he went to the church on Sunday morning. And after the prayers are over, he took permission from the priest, from the padri there, the father, that I want to address all of you. And he convinced them that Thumba is going to be a unique place in the country if you dedicate this church for the space program of India. And that is how the space program of India or the rocketry program of India started from that church. So you can imagine the thought which must be going on and how he was so enthusiastic to develop the country with respect to self-reliance. जिसको हम लोग आजकल बोलते हैं आत्मनिर्भर भारत, right? So he was talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat about 60 years back itself, that we should have our own program within the country. So these are the things which we should be looking at when we are talking about the different programs, not only in the space program, but in other, like in medicine, in metallurgy, in material science, in chemistry, in physics, or any other areas of science and technology. And we all know that our Prime Minister of India in 60s gave a slogan, you know, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, which was basically meant to boost the soldiers and the army, as well as to improve the cultivation of crops within the country. And after that, there was a word which was added, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. So science is also being realized within the country as one of the very important elements. And now the current Prime Minister has added it, Jai Anusandhan, so research. So when you do research, only the science progresses. So research is a very, very important aspect of development of science within the country. And when we talk about research, we should also know that research needs patience. It needs dedication. It needs commitment, which has to be done. If you don't have passion, if you don't have dedication, if you don't have commitment, it is very difficult to continue to do research. So those who are interested in doing science for a longer period of time, not just taking your courses and then starting your job, but those who are interested to develop science, and science is developed only by doing research, they need certain qualities. And that is what is required. And we should learn from our people who have been in the past and how they have, including, for example, C.V. Raman, who discovered the Raman effect. And now you see in n number of areas, so many different fields, the Raman effect is being used by different areas in different sciences. And different instruments of different application has been developed using that effect. So that is what is the way we should look forward into this area. And when we talk about how we should cultivate this within the country and pass it on to our younger generation, and also explain it to general public. Because if we don't do an activity to outreach of the benefits which we are earning out of science and technology development, then there is no appreciation. So appreciation will come when you tell the general public about how you are getting benefited. Your everyday life, if you take right from the morning till evening, how it is being impacted by science and the development of science within the country and also around the world. And that is what should be one of the aims, which is a part of the outreach activities of all the science and technology institutes, including VIT. And I hope you must be having some kind of outreach activity where you also call general public and students from various schools and colleges to the campus to show them, to excite them to take science and technology in their future. And it's a kind of activity which has to continue to be done. It's not like you have to do once in a while. No, every year, every 6 monthly, quarterly, you have to think about how to connect to the public, how to connect to the students, not just college students. I'm talking about class 5, class 8, class 10th students, and to excite them about what is new happening within the country, what is the progress which is happening within the country, and how you can contribute. Like there was a question about talking about aerospace and how one can contribute into space science program. So it is not just one field where we have to progress. We have to progress in all possible fields of science and technology. And that is what is being reminded through this National Science Day or National Science Week. And the importance is that if we keep on repeating this, if we keep on doing this actively, then there'll be a larger number of people who will be thinking about joining science and technology. And that is the part of that STEM program, science, engineering, technology, and medicine. Because these are the 4 areas which essentially provides us with respect to the growth in the country, which is very, very important. Because once you do research, you grow in these areas. And with the current scenarios and the last 2 years of pandemic, we have learned a lot about how to change our behaviors, both socially, economically, as well as financially. And they are all linked. If you think that science is away from society, no, science is linked to society because science benefits society. And we have to educate, and we have got educated now about hygiene, which is actually a part of science. You know that. For example, when we go to temple, we go to mosque, or we go to Gurdwara, or we go to any other place of prayer, we cover our hair, right? Isn't it? And we wear cap, or we wear some put our hanky and close our hairs. The simple reason for that is that hairs are one of the source of bacteria and viruses which can spread when you go to a place which is full of people. And this has been there in our what you call culture as a part, but it is not explained that what is the science behind that. So there are many things which is already a part in our culture, in our tradition, and we have to understand certain aspect of that because they are actually having science in it. So like, for example, herbals, when we had this pandemic, a lot of people have used this ginger or tulsi or turmeric kind of things, but they are known to us. They are part of our daily routine life, but importance came when the pandemic. So we have to also understand certain aspects which is already there in the system. It has come to a part of practice, but we should learn why we should do that. And there comes the importance of science. People should be explained of why it has to be done. So I am really delighted that VIT Bhopal has organized this National Science Week, and the talks which I was just reading today are there from all possible fields of science. It is not just in one area, and that's a good part of how to provide to the community the progress which is happening in different areas of science. And I compliment and congratulate the VIT for organizing the National Science Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us from your address and giving us motivation to practice science and technology, and by the same time to communicate to the general audience at large. So now this week-long celebration has come to an end, and I request my co-coordinator, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Kashyap, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all. The National Science Week has been celebrated at VIT Bhopal University from 25th Feb to 3rd March 2022. On this occasion of valedictory function, I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. G. Viswanathan, sir, respected Vice President, Mr. Shankar Viswanathan, sir, respected Assistant Vice President, Ms. Kadambari S. Viswanathan, ma'am, for their guidance and leadership, which is helping us in organizing such events of this large scale. I would like to thank Professor Anil Bhardwaj, Director Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, for accepting our invitation to grace this valedictory function as chief guest. I would also like to thank our respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Kamachi Mudali, sir, who is a great source of inspiration for all of us. In this Science Week, we had a lecture series where 9 eminent speakers, including our chief guest, all over the globe who spoke in a line of their expertise. I thank them for accepting our request to participate in this celebration as eminent speakers. In this continuation, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to VIT Bhopal administration, registrars, deans, directors, faculty, colleagues, students, and all the participants of National Science Week. I extend my heartiest thanks to all the media personnel who has taken their effort to join this valedictory session. I would like to thank Coordinator Dr. Sarath Chandra for his continuous support as the esteemed team member of this organizing committee. The National Science Week celebration at VIT Bhopal was catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Department of Science and Technology, DST, New Delhi, and Madhya Pradesh Council for Science and Technology, MPCST. On behalf of VIT Bhopal, I thank NCSKC and MPCST for giving us opportunity to celebrate this for a week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I hope the National Science Week celebration at VIT Bhopal has created an opportunity to display the activities, efforts, and achievements in the field of science and technology for human welfare. I thank you all for joining us on the valedictory function of the National Science Week and making this event a grand success. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Bhardwaj. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for
All the very best to everybody at VIT.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.